I'm your host, Charise Beckett, and
I am your host, Mark Thompson.
how are you?
If you focus on what you did in the past,
To lead, transform, and shine.
this is a great collaboration. Career Transformation Academy and Queens Behind the Scenes. Mark Thompson, Charise Beckett, about to tear it up.
Welcome to, I'm not even going to say it's Career Transformation Academy, but I am your host, Mark Thompson, and I also have a very special guest.
Charise Beckett.
And Charise and I are colliding and coming together with some incredible stuff. So this is Career Transformation Academy and Queens Behind the Scenes doing something very special. Charise, tell us about it. Let's go.
Yes, welcome everyone to our very first episode of Corporately Speaking. I'm Charise. I'm one of the hosts. Well, I am the host for Queens Behind the Scenes, but one of the hosts for Corporately Speaking. And we are thrilled to kick off the podcast and introduce what we believe will be an incredible resource for professionals everywhere.
Yep. And I am Mark Thompson. I am your host of Career Transformation Academy. And together, we're creating a space where we dive into realities of corporate life, challenges, professionals, all the stuff that professionals face just to navigate the unspoken workplace and just staying true to yourself. So at the end of the day, we want you to have all your superpowers and be the best person you can be.
Yes, we need you to be great. So our mission is to pull back the curtain on
Right.
corporate America and empower you with the insights and tools and strategies to succeed, whether you're climbing the ladder or pivoting your career or just trying to make sense of it all.
Yeah. So let's tell everybody how we got started. I mean, I have been doing what I do, which is really helping a lot of folks from that, entry level, the mid level, working their way to the senior level, as far as career aspiration and goals and things of that nature. And then you have been
Yes. Well, I have been so funny. I just started Queens Behind the Scenes. It was like a 3-year making of okay, what are we going to do? Is it going to be just focusing on women? Is it going to be, what is it going to be? So what I decided is that I have a platform and we do focus on women. And I've always been into helping women. I was an HR leader at Planned Parenthood. So obviously that mission rang true to me. But I want to help women take control of their lives, whether it's through goal setting and my goal setting workbook,
Right.
personal empowerment, or finding their purpose. But we realized, Mark and I did, that professional success is just a huge part of anybody's journey. And for women, I think it's a big part of your journey. And I believe as an executive in HR, I do think that I have some of those tools that you don't always really get to hear about when you're in the job.
Right. And one of the beautiful things about this, us coming together, we both have this, years of experience in HR. So what we have seen combined now, it's 40 plus years of experience that we're trying to deliver. And I think the big picture about this is we're trying to showcase to folks this is the science behind it. This is the way of your path to your future. And it's hard work. It's not easy. We talk about it like it's easy but we did the work. And I think that's what's important.
Yeah, we definitely did. That's the part is I think for some people, some of it seems impossible to climbing the ladder or dealing with corporate politics, because it's going to be some. So just let's resign to the fact that it's going to be some. And how do you navigate that? How do you navigate those, the bureaucracy that comes along with just working in a job or working in a corporation? What's the difference in private equity, Fortune 500, there are differences in the way that they're going to operate and the way that they're going to advocate for their people, how they're going to treat their people, how total rewards will be set up. So all of that stuff makes a difference. And you're not going to hear about any of that all in one place except for here.
Right. Exactly. And I always tell folks who watch my regular podcast to get their pad and pencil, you're going to have to record these sessions because we're going to be giving out that game. I'm talking about real facts, real stories, but real information from successful things that have happened in the corporate space. But then also, we're both journeying in this entrepreneur space. So those are good topics to kind of cross into as we think about it. I think both of us are in this to possibly think about how we can navigate on the outside as well. So this is a excellent opportunity to just listen to us, hear these different stories, and shout out to our awesome good friend David Giles who connected us together. So I want to give a shout out to him.
And he's a realtor. Yes, I know. Yeah. And he's a realtor, so buy a house.
Right. I don't even think you know. So I met him at University of Richmond, and he was my host on my recruitment visits, and I chose Richmond. Now, I don't know if it was him that had made me choose Richmond, or I just didn't have no other options, but he was inspirational to it.
He is great. And, it's funny because I saw him this week. We're doing a pre-construction meeting for our house, and he, of course, is our realtor and joined me for that meeting. And he literally was telling me about, I was like, University of Richmond? He went to University, like we were talking, and I was like, oh my gosh. And then I told him that we were doing corporately speaking, and he was like, oh, like he was so excited. About that. And he knew that this would just be a really, really good collaboration. I think because we both want to create something bigger.
Yes.
And it made sense for us to do this because we both have the unique perspectives. And by combining those forces, we're creating a space where professionals can grow holistically, professionally, and personally. I hope.
Yeah. I mean, we can even add spiritually.
Spiritually. Yes.
If you have a higher power, this is important. I think this is a good testament to a lot of my success and a lot of people that I've supported as well. You got to have some belief. Let's say faith without works is dead. So you can dream about it, but if you don't put that action into play, we'll show you how to put the action.
That's exactly right. I always say that, and it's actually it's so funny you say that. I actually, on my workbook that I have on Queens Behind the Scenes, the downloadable resource for the month of January was a goal-setting book, and it actually has a dream without a plan is just a wish.
Right. Wow.
It's just a wish.
Wow. See, these are the things. So I think I'm excited about this because wherever you are, women of color, men of color, I don't care what color you are, we both have platforms that are out here to serve people. And I think that's the goal of what we're doing. So we're voicing it and we're putting it out there. So let's tell them more about what Corporately Speaking is going to be doing. I think me and you have been creating some magical topics that are about to destroy the internet. So
yes, I do think so. I do think we're about to drop the gems. So we'll be covering topics like navigating workplace dynamics. So like an example of that is, and I was just talking about this, is like one of the workplace dynamics that I think is so interesting is when people see Black people having water cooler talk while the congregation seems to make people uncomfortable. And I still haven't figured out why, but I do think I know a way to actually combat that.
Right.
We'll be talking about breaking through the glass ceiling. And I think that as an executive, I'm able to really talk about how that's impacted me and what I see. I actually don't think there is a ceiling. I think the sky's the limit, but we'll go through all of that anyway. And then we're going to start talking about understanding the corporate perks, like golden parachutes, and even managing burnout. We're going to be talking about all of it.
Right. And code switching. I think that's the hammer.
Oh, yes.
Code switching. It is a science.
It is
and we all have to do it.
It is it's funny. We do all have to do it. And when I hear people go, I don't code switch. I just come to work and I'm like, no, you do code switch. Because ain't no way you talking like you do at your house to these people at your job.
Right. You are not scaring people at your job. I don't know one job I've ever had where I talk like I talk with the people from back home. No.
Absolutely not. I mean, you just can't. Now, I will say my last boss, I actually did have we had a kindred spirit. So or a kindred relationship. We had someone to say, Black woman, her husband passed away when she was young too. So we had these lived experiences we could connect on. So sometimes me and her would have those kind of, but it was never it was always about personal things. It was never about work. And as soon as the work would come up, the switch would come. So code switch again.
One of my good buddies, this is so funny because I don't know, like I said, we have watchers, people who are listening from across the world. But one of the beautiful things is you got to have good friends. One of my good buddies, every time he has an interview, he'll call me in his code switch voice. And then we have full conversations in a code switch voice so we can understand. It's corporate talk. It's like, what do you do? I don't know. Maybe I'll have to, circle the wagons around this one. And we just have a whole lot of conversations about corporate jargon, these things that are important. You got to understand this stuff. But again, it's just navigating the workplace and you got to figure it out.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, and I think it's important to share this collaboration with you. You know, for me, I've been in roles. I had to figure out how to blend personal goals with corporate demands, and it wasn't easy. I mean, even still, it's not easy, but like, of course, it's gotten easier because the more you know, the better you do. The more you know, the more you know, the more you get because you know what to ask for, right? And so I think that that's a part of it. And right now, I think so many people, especially the climate that our country is in with DEI being chopped to pieces and, you know, whatever these people are trying to do with it. And also corporations, what we're having to deal with employees and all employees, I mean, you know, everywhere in the world, what we have to deal with is what is the employer brand? Because the problem with this whole DEI, people coming down on DEI is like, so what's going to happen when, so it was in style. Now it's out of style to y'all.
Right.
What is going to happen when, inevitably, we know what's going to happen in the next 4 years is like, something going to happen to where people are going to be like, I can't have all these people walking about my job, so I'm going to have to figure out how to be diverse and inclusive again.
Right.
How is your position of being so fickle affecting your employees? And how does an employee come to work knowing that my organization pivoted 5 or 6 times about DEI, and it was never based on a position that they really had. It was based on performative actions or just drifting in the wind with whatever. Oh, you know, George Floyd died. Oh, I better get a DEI program. You know, those kinds of things show up and they affect employees later. So how do you as an employee voice your opinion and stay employed? Voice your opinion, stay employed, but also understand, because I think it's important, understand corporate dynamics that change the trajectory of things like DEI and programs and initiatives as such.
You know, what's crazy as you talk about that, I see a lot of companies, you know, resisting it. They may not say DEI anymore, but they're now saying, you know,
sustainability or what?
Sustainability. They're changing it because it's like, we're not going to get rid of it because they do understand how it impacts the business. They do understand that productivity is better. They understand that we're getting better work and sales. Everything across the board is better when we have a diverse thing. But again, we're going to talk about this because we know we want to go into it later that, you know, diversity, equity, inclusion is not about Black people.
No, it's not. I mean, no, that's what I have to always, but somebody has made it our brand. You know what I mean? Like somebody has made, like that's, but it isn't. It's not. It's about diverse skill sets, diverse socioeconomic backgrounds, diverse educational backgrounds, also racial diversity, of course, diverse nationalities. Like, so, I mean, it is so much more than that. And I know we're going to dig into that because it's a hot topic right now. And, you know, thank you, the new president of the United States, for making it a hot topic right now. But it is a hot topic. And I just don't think that organizations should be so quick to abandon their ideals just yet.
Just yet.
Just yet.
Not just yet. No, because it's going to impact the long. Yeah, the big picture is going to be affected greatly, and I can see that happen because, you know, you can't go back to the 70s and 60s no more the way you work in corporate America. You're going to lose.
Well, and ain't nobody having that. So the other part is like you see now, and I would love to get the statistics on how many people are becoming entrepreneurs. I mean, that is like, it's real. Like people are, and I would love to get a statistic. I know that during the pandemic, you know, during the pandemic, people was branching out on their own and everything. And I remember one of my friends was like, these young people, they will leave a job. My one girlfriend said they will sell feet before they deal with a crazy work environment.
$100,000 a year minimum.
Right.
I wish my feet was pretty. I put mine on there, you know.
Yeah, right. Right. They don't care. Listen, my feet are pretty, and I thought about it. So I was like, if all I gotta do is take feet pictures.
Face.
No
just
face,
feet.
just feet.
Trust me, hey, I think it's viable.
I thought it was like so lucrative, but yes, these people will leave. And so what is their experience in the workplace and what are they kind of trying to combat? And for us, we're not just going to be talking at you. We're in it with you because we're in it. We're branching out on our own. We're still learning lessons as we talk to you all.
Right. You know, something you just brought up that I thought that is really interesting, and this is the thing that I try to do at Career Transformation Academy. I'm trying to get into the universities because what I'm trying to open their eyes to is that high school kids, The minimum wage for a high school kid right out of college is working is $48,000. When you got out of high school, how much did you make? I mean, I know it's different.
$6 an hour. $6 an hour.
Exactly.
I worked at Victoria's Secret part-time. I made $6 an hour, I'm pretty sure.
I mean, if you think about what the wage is for African Americans, period, it's like $35,000. High school kids are coming out of school, and what they're doing is like, why am I going to college? I can go work right now and get the bag. So let me go get a trade. Community schools, technical schools have increased. They're going for 2 years, getting a trade, starting their own business. I mean, you got, what's the drone technology now? People are flying drones and getting paid. People out here learning how to be plumbers and creating their own system. Electricians, all those old things. Trades are coming back. And these are the things that we need to talk about, because it is important for you to understand, if the universities don't ship shape and figure this out and start adding more of these actual AI technology, even gaming. I've seen that gaming is starting to be a subject in schools.
Yeah. Listen, you know, where I work, I mean, we even had, you got the NBA, what is it, the 2K? So I could see how that would take a trajectory into universities. I mean, you got people coming to Harvard, Rihanna, Kim Kardashian. So, you know, they're trying to come along, but they are going to have to. One of the things I see with universities is the lack of career services. That's just something I had kids, so I have kids that have graduated.
Be quiet on that, because I can't tell them that, but I see it too, and you see it.
I see it. Yes, I see it.
Y'all hear that? All the universities, HBCUs. I didn't say it.
I said it, and the only reason I know is because my kids. I mean, my son just graduated 2 years ago from college. My daughter graduated. Now she's in the medical field, so it's a little bit easier to get a job as a nurse practitioner. You know what I mean? Because it's like, who's not trying to hire a medical field? But when you're in business, I definitely think that I helped my son more than his career services. So,
and see, and that's the blessing for some kids, but it's also a curse for the other ones, because you have to start from scratch after college. You have a piece of paper and you don't know where to go.
You don't know where to go. You don't know how to apply for jobs. You don't know how to. Some of them don't even know, like, how's your resume set up to be, you know, to attract people. Does it go into a black hole? And now all of the applicant tracking is starting to use AI. So that's another kind of, it's great for the employer, but for an applicant, it's not always great, because what AI is doing is it's plucking words.
Yep. And it's like, did you get 90% or higher? We'll take the top 25 people at the 90-some percentile. Then the recruiter or manager will look at that resume for 6 or 7 seconds and only pick the top 5.
That part.
So good applicants may miss opportunity. And again, this is what we're both teaching. We got to teach people how to beat the robot and stand out to be the very absolute number one choice for a company. So look, we can go on this all day long, but this is good.
I know. And like, I think that, you know, what we're about is, you know, every week, I think we were talking every week, we're going to kind of talk about how, you know, a topic up from corporate America that is definitely affecting more than just you and I, and most people. So this is going to be an exciting partnership. And I think that a lot of people are going to learn a lot of things. And I also think that we're going to learn a lot of things through other people. And we may even go live once we build this up.
I mean, folks, tell us if you think we should go
live.
This would be good. Tell us if we should go live, because I think this would be a great opportunity to hear and maybe bring people on and ask them questions and tell us about their experiences too as well. So on every platform. There's so many platforms. Oh my gosh, where do we go?
Where do we go?
There's no ceiling. The sky's the limit. We're gonna
sky's the limit. You can literally, and I said this, you can literally do whatever you want. The sky's the limit. And sometimes you got to just create your own lane. Sometimes you do have to create your own lane. Sometimes you got to do it at work. Sometimes you got to craft out that position for yourself.
Right. This is good. So I guess we can wrap up. I mean, because we'll go ahead and do a whole 4-hour podcast real quick. But this is, again, folks, a great way to introduce Corporately Speaking. This is what we're going to be about. This is a great collaboration. Career Transformation Academy and Queens Behind the Scenes. Mark Thompson, Charise Beckett, about to tear it up. You know what I'm saying? So, look, I had that. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, this is good for the people. This is great. It'll be on both platforms. You can actually check us out, Career Transformation Academy and Queens Behind the Scenes. That's
Thank
all
you
we
for
can give you. That's it.
That's it. Thank you for tuning in and welcome to Corporately Speaking. We'll see you in the next episode.
Peace.